Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name is EmilyHanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. And today I'm here with a rant. I do not give a single solitary fuck about your quarantine weight gain, and I'm going to talk about it. First of all, this topic is a delicate one. If discussion about weight or diet culture or anything is something that is sensitive for you, if it's a triggering topic in any way, shape, or form, please prioritize your own well-being and, come back for another video another time. I talk about a lot of different parts of this subject, so I would just say, if there are concerns at all, please prioritize your own self-care, because I know it's not an easy topic at all. And otherwise, if you like colorful makeup, bitches with lots of opinions, or cute fat babes in general, I hope you subscribe, join the HanHan fam, check me out on Instagram, Twitter, my Patreon, YouTube membership. All this good shit is all in the description box for you. I will also have all of the products used listed down there. These kind of rant to get ready with me's. I'm not talking about the products, but you'll be able to see what I'm using. And on that note, let's get into why I have literally zero fucks to give about any and all conversations relating to body changes whatsoever because of the panini. Now, I saw this the entire, the last almost 18 months. I've seen the discourse all over the place. It's not new. As soon as we were a couple of months into it, there was discussion. Definitely have hair on my face. Basically, as soon as we were just a couple of months into it, not even a couple, it was a topic of conversation. And if you are new here and you have not seen other videos, I believe in fat liberation. I believe in body neutrality at the bare minimum for everyone. I realize that everyone isn't just instantly at that point, but body neutrality, but truly fat liberation. Also, I'm not the first person to have this conversation. I won't be the last. My points may not even be that unique. That doesn't really matter. I have a big mouth and I like talking to y'all, so I'm gonna do it. So here's the thing. I think especially if you're an American citizen, I feel like the entire panini has been this weird, well, I think the country is this, but this moment feels like a capitalist circle jerk. Because from the moment it all started, everyone, the conversation was about what you can do with your panini, what you can do with this time. Write the great American novel, start the this you always wanted to do, that you always wanted to do, blah, blah, blah. The whole time, just skipping over the concept of the fact that this is trauma. Almost 18 months of trauma. Whether it was losing your job, fighting for unemployment, having to be an essential worker, putting your health and life on the line on a daily basis, losing people to COVID getting COVID, recovering from it. Nobody was untouched. Nobody. I don't believe anyone that has come through the last year and a half was untouched, unless you're a billionaire, and then I'm not going to wish ill of the space race, but I have images of fireworks in the sky that are not fireworks. That got dark.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
No one escaped that. It's been 18 months of constant trauma for all of us. And that affects you and your body. It affects what you are able to do, how much you are able to do, your energy level, your, kind of commitment to life. It just, nothing is the same. If you had a friend who went through an illness for 18 months and came out the other side having gained weight, would you look at them and be like, your cancer 15 sure is showing? No. And if you did, I don't know how you found this channel.
Him out of here. Get him out of here! Get the out of my room! Oh my God!
So like, that's the extreme that I go to in my head when I see people criticizing themselves or commenting on the change in their body. It just doesn't, it's not a good look, okay? Besides the inherent trauma of the last of this time period, so much changed for so many of us. A lot of us had more constricted budgets, which I know for me, when I have more constricted budgets, my kind of consumption of snacky foods or fast foods goes up. I have no shame or anything like that in eating that kind of food in general. I also like, really lovely homemade or fancy or whatever food, but I don't have any judgment towards eating that anyway. But when you're on a tighter budget, for me, I find that that kind of food is something I'm eating more of. And if you also had a tighter budget because you were on unemployment, or maybe you had a furlough pay situation, anyway, you were in a situation where for a lot of us, we didn't have the money that we had in previous times. But even if these last 18 months hasn't been a financial, gut punch for you, we are all seeking comfort. And for many of us, comfort comes in the form of food. I am abso-fucking-lutely an emotional eater. Could I, change and progress and move past that sometime in my future? Maybe, but that's been something in me for literally 30 years. I am an emotional eater. So yes, when I am seeking comfort, food is oftentimes the spot to do it. So even if I have more money, I'm like, well, fuck it. I might as well support the restaurants that are open and order some, delivery and get luxurious foods, whatever is comforting for me. I don't think there's anything wrong with seeking comfort with food. Everyone's relationship with food is their own unique situation. I don't have any input on how, you know, how or what or when you are eating. That's not what we do over here. And it's not something we do in the comments or any of that shit. So, in case you're new. So no, I don't have any negative thoughts towards, you know, the rise of like seeking comfort in food. We were also seeking comfort in other things and otherwise being forced to be more sedentary. Maybe maybe video games where you seek comfort and you're sitting down to play most video games. And if you're not working or you're working less, you're trying to job hunt and you're like, well, I mean, you know, I could play video games for like 6 hours, 8 hours in a day and still be just fine. Yeah, your body is probably going to change then. For those of us that may have been working anyway, a lot of us were working from home. You're not commuting. I know that for many people, commuting is mostly a sitting situation because you're driving. But like, I think about New Yorkers, I think about people that take public transit, there's walking involved. Also, when you're in an office or in whatever the work setting is, you have space to get up and move around. Maybe you have to get up to go to a meeting, or you just make the rounds around the office to move your legs, or you leave to go for lunch, or all these things that we were not doing. For a lot of people and in a lot of the time, it was just not safe for your health to be out and about. You weren't supposed to be out there gallivanting around, you know, like, well, I can't do this in the office, so I'm just gonna go to Target and like make you know, rounds around the store. Like, nobody was doing that. That wasn't part of the abilities that we had during this time. So not only like did our routines change so much, generally speaking, you know, things just changed in terms of how much space or ability you had to move around. And if you are somebody that, you know, goes and does classes or goes to the gym, or, you know, maybe you walk regularly with a friend, all of a sudden you really couldn't do that. Those options were just gone. For better or worse, working out is, so not only is it social, it's social in that you're doing it, you know, you might be doing it with a friend or in a space where you have people that you can, you know, chat with, shoot the shit, whatever. But I also think that there's inherently a social expectation to work out. So you are working out because, you know, you have to go to an office every day and look cute in, you know, the clothes that you bought, or you are working out every day. Like, I just personally think that a lot of times those routines are also built on like presenting a certain way out in the world. And all of a sudden that didn't matter because we weren't presenting ourselves out in the world. So not only did you not have access, but then you might not have had the motivation to kind of like do stuff at home. And like, I'm trying not to focus so much attention on this, but you know, my brain's doing that thing. But the other part of it is that, so like the motivation is different, and also space, access, materials, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Like, it's just different at home in not a fun way. And so all of these things changed. Any of these things that might have brought movement or, you know, joy into our lives, comfort too, because this isn't like the whole, like, you weren't able to go out in the world. That thing isn't just about like movement, because as I said, that's really not my focus, but it's about comfort. So like, for so many of us, we didn't have an ability to, you know, physically lean on our friends for comfort and time together. But the thing is that, so I'm giving you all these reasons for why this has been happening, why things are different, how things are different. I basically have spent like 20 minutes talking about weight gain during quarantine, when the whole point of this video is I don't give a fuck about your quarantine weight gain. But the reason why I truly don't care about your weight gain ever, but especially not right now, is that changes in your body does not decrease your value or worth in this world. Carrying more weight does not change anything about you besides that you are carrying more weight. You are just as lovable and loving, as kind, as funny, as charismatic, as quirky or weird. You are all of these things. You are still all of these things, no matter how your body has changed over the last 18 months. You are still all of these things, no matter how your body has changed in the last 18 months. You do not need to, lose or reverse the changes to still be lovable and desirable and have the friends that you have and the partners and all of these things. You are still all of those things. You are still amazing. And it's been really hard to hear people talk about themselves, because that's the point, is that everyone is talking about it like they are trash, like they are a trash person, when the reality is you've had 18 months of trauma. You have had 18 months of trauma, and you're sitting over here being like, wow, I am fucking terrible because how dare my weight have changed. And that's fatphobia, y'all. And guess what? If you think, well, I can just I'm just fatphobic towards myself, but like I don't put it on other people. Honey, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. So that is also why I actively don't want to hear about it. But you talking about yourself and your changes, and quite honestly, diminishing yourself in that process, you tell me loud and fucking clear your thoughts about me. You just do. That's what that means. To me, that's what that means. And honestly, it's not just to me. This is something that all fat people deal with. We hear people who we love and cherish, who we adore. We hear them talk about themselves in ways that are absolutely devastating. And they will say, like, oh, no, but no, you're beautiful, I love you, you're amazing, you're all these things. But when you sit there and talk about yourself that way, when you equate your weight gain to being less desirable or lazy or just in all of these negative things that we say about ourselves, that people say about themselves when they gain weight, you're saying that about your friends and family too. Something else I would also say is that I understand wanting to talk about your body and talk about changes, and I don't think that's inherently wrong, but ask your friends before you do that. If you think that that's something you want to talk about, if that's something that's on your mind, just check in with that friend and do it every time. And the other thing, besides the fact that like these conversations, these topics are just inherently fat phobic and thus harmful to all fat people, we have all changed. Every single one of us has changed. If you don't feel it yet, I still think you've changed, but you just might not be there yet to really talk about it or get it. And I think that's a big frustration, is that we can look at the last year and say, yes, we have all changed. Yes, we have all changed. We've all gone through some shit, and so many of us have explored our sexuality, our gender and identity and presentation, and maybe played around with that some, or thought about different things, learned about our neurodivergencies, and that is all like cool and acceptable and blah blah blah, and like it's what all the cool kids are doing or whatever. But gaining weight, no, you can't do that. That's not cool or hip. By the way, that was sarcasm. Fat people are cool as fuck. So that's also part of it that's just very frustrating, is that I see so many conversations about how so many of us have changed in ways that feel so like exploratory and satisfying, as satisfying as the last 18 months can be. But don't you dare let yourself gain any weight. How the fuck is that reasonable? That's not. It's just not. I was gonna take a moment to pause and let y'all think about it, but it's not. It's just not reasonable. It's just not. So yeah, you have changed. In the last 18 months, you have changed. I have changed. Your friends have changed. Your coworkers and bosses and teachers and parents and children and siblings, they've all changed. We have all changed. And that's okay. It just is what it is. But yeah, whether or not it's okay, it is what it is. We don't really have a choice otherwise. It's not exactly how the universe, is allowing things. So just how you have explored. You've explored your identity. You've explored your, mental illnesses or neurodivergencies if you have them. You may have explored sexuality and what you want out of life, your future, the world you want for yourself. You have taken the time, as we have, many of us have been forced the time to think about all of these things. Why not take the time to think about you and your body right here, right now? The body you have. Not the body you had before this all started, not the body you might have in 3 years, or the body you had 3 years ago. Think about your body right now. Just live in it. Be kind to it. Show it some love, show it some appreciation. Literally, touch your body. fucking give your body tenderness. I know this is getting a little maybe PG-13, but I mean all of that. Even as awkward as I feel saying it, I mean all of that. Give yourself the space to just think about yourself as you are right now and explore why this body makes you maybe feel things that you're not loving. Are you feeling off because you miss movement? Well, guess what? You can do movement without forcing a specific goal of weight or inches lost. You can, you know, do movement without it being intertwined into diet culture. If your body is not making you happy right now because you don't have comfortable clothes, go get comfortable clothes. I know it's easier said than done, but if that's what it is, go get comfortable clothes. Just start analyzing, what is it that's making you unhappy? Because I bet we can find a solution that's not fatphobia. And that is why I do not give a fuck about your quarantine weight gain. Because every single conversation that I have been a part of, that I have witnessed, or articles I've read, opinion pieces, tweets, all of that, it's all fatphobic. It's fatphobic as fuck. So rather than being fatphobic, analyze why something is making you unhappy and fix that thing, rather than harping on the fact that being fat is somehow making you a lesser of a person. Because that shit is toxic. And even when you think you're only directing it at yourself, it seeps in everywhere. So stop talking about your quarantine weight gain and maybe start talking about how to bring back some happiness in your life, how to bring back moments that make you feel more connected with your body, that make you appreciate and enjoy your body, or at least moments that you don't hate the damn thing. And this is the finished very pink look using the Divine Rose 2. This is the full face of Divine Rose 2. If anyone needs any pointers on the things I was touching on towards the end of the video, of like identifying the real feeling and finding ways to solve that feeling rather than the fatphobia, let's carefully use the comment section for that. I'm not exactly sure what that means or what that looks like, but yeah. And if you got this far in the video and you feel like you cannot handle more conversation about this kind of stuff, please take care of yourself, prioritize your own personal health and all of that, because I do not want to actively or passively harm anyone. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the look, this conversation, this topic, anything about it, my new background, I moved from the shitty Airbnb, yay! Thumbs up the video, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, if you liked it or anything, give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you feel up to it, share it out with friends. Yeah, I would love to hear from y'all. And on that note, don't forget to take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday, because you are worth it. Bye, friends.